Please stop comparing us to Tim Walz. You're giving us a bad reputation.
This is just shameless what people are putting out there. Oh, Timmy Walz. What's up, guys? What is going on? Super late tonight. I apologize. It has been, I've been having a struggle, man, getting back onto things. Crazy long weekend. Just work's been busy, holidays. So my mind it's been hard to focus, but I'm here because we got a lot to talk about, and I missed last night. So wanted to be here for you guys. And so let me say hey, and we're going to get right into it. By the way, before I start, please like, subscribe. I appreciate it. And we got, oh man, it's getting spicy out there. So, all right, let me say hey to some peeps, and then we're going to get going here. Wago Waco, numero uno tonight. What's up, buddy? TKO, what's up? Pedro. How's it going, brother? Linda Telly, Frank Gonastagio, Dammit Sean, Rum Dog, JC Cool, Cassink, US1, Roll Tide. I love it. Look at all these peeps still willing to show up late. That makes me happy. You guys, no warning. I just show up out of nowhere. I didn't give you guys a schedule today, nothing, and you still show up. You guys are devoted. I appreciate it. What's up, Toe? In late, but you know, we work hard, we stay up late, we party, and then, you know, we rest when we're dead, right? Is that when we sleep? I think that's the old saying. Okay, let's get right into it today, guys. Things have been loaded. Things have been blowing up. I don't know if you guys saw last Friday after Tim Pool had Milo on and George Santos, and just a wild show, just really went after Candace Owens. And then that night he got shot at, well, at least his house did. Somebody pulled up and just started shooting into Tim Pool's compound. Crazy stuff. And it's so crazy that I'm putting together a video on it. To finally, once and for all, just break down the Candace Owens timeline and all the way back to her beginnings. And so I'm working on a video that I'm going to try to get out tomorrow about that, just to expose her and say this is not a woman we can trust. And I'm not saying she shot at him at all. Obviously, I don't believe that, but I do believe Tim is onto something. This Candace Owens stuff's getting out of control, and it's funny that somebody like Tim gets shot at and not Candace, even though Candace says that her life's in trouble. So we got all that, and so I don't need to talk too much about her tonight, although I'm going to talk a little bit share what Tim's been saying tonight, because it's just heating up ever since he was shot at. But we got, Trump's getting a lot done right now. I'm going to go through that tonight, but first we got to talk about it went from the shooting at the Tim Pool's house, the final people starting to see what's going on with Candace, and then Elon Musk did this, and it lit up X, calling Nick Fuentes a Fed. So sharing this Drew Pavlo guy, sharing Evan Kilgore, sharing Steven Crowder. I mean, just like name after name after name. But Steven Crowder interviewed Nick Fuentes, and Musk calls him a Fed. And not a day after Elon calls Nick Fuentes a Fed, we get this bombshell report covered by Data Republican. Now, Data Republican is one of the best deep divers. This woman is deaf and autistic, and she is a researcher. She's one of the best researchers on the internet. She is incredible. And so she looked into this, found she believes it's legit. So I trust her. So I'm going to trust this report. But this report basically shows how Nick Fuentes is manipulating an audience with bots and all kinds of other crazy stuff and making the groypers bigger than they really are. So we got to break this down, but the theme today of tonight's video is that there's a lot of exposure coming, and this the Fuenteses, the Candace Owens, the Ian Carrolls of the world, these people who have been trying to divide and destroy MAGA by pretending they're with us and then dividing us, they're starting to go down. And this is a very important time. But let's get into the Nick stuff, because this is intense. So a few days ago, Musk got ratioed by Nick Fuentes. Air quotes are intentional, nothing organic about it. Network Contagion Research released a forensic breakdown of Nick Fuentes' sudden rise over the past year was driven by synthetic amplification, foreign engagement clusters, and coordinated raid behavior. Now listen, I always, try to tell you guys what I see. Now, I don't do the data stuff like this. I'm just not that smart. But I do work, and I have worked in online digital marketing. And I've worked with influencers, especially in the Christian space. I know how it works, and I can tell when something's organic and it's not. And so I keep trying to show you guys influencers and where the ones I believe are botted, built up, something's pushing them. And this is wild, because I got to tell you guys, the Nick Fuentes stuff, it was like, it's dangerous that he's growing so big with young men. But at the same time, he's so extreme, it just didn't make sense. So let's go into some of these topics in this thread here. She says, top line claim, Fuentes' influences did not emerge entirely organically, manufactured by unusually fast, unusually concentrated, unusually foreign engagement patterns, kind normally associated with coordinated manipulation networks. The data shows Fuentes receiving more early retweets than Elon Musk, despite Musk having literally 100 times the audience. In the first 30 minutes, Fuentes dominates velocity charts, an anomaly no legitimate account in U.S. politics resembles. You can see Fuentes here just jumping, and this is over all the other people. Okay, so you got big influencers like Destiny, Ian Carroll, who he's definitely a Fed, but obviously doesn't have the push of Fuentes right now. Son Piker, and then Musk is in the orange. Look at the more retweets pushed for Fuentes than even Elon Musk, who has like 100 million followers. Contrast gets more stark when normalizing for numbers of followers. So this is a ratio versus numbers of followers to the retweets. And you can see who's being pushed. Like all these guys. Elon owns X. And look at the difference here. I mean, this is insane. Fuentes is just out of control. Hassan Piker's next. And then it's between Carroll and Destiny, depending on, I guess, the topic. And so just insane. They're all, though, based on their followers, getting pushed further than Elon, who owns the platform and has over 100 million followers. This is insane. There's nobody on X who should get more boosts than Elon. Look at that. I mean, to me, this is like crazy proof that there's like this insane manipulation going on here. It says they then drilled down 61% of Fuentes' retweets in the first 30 minutes came from accounts that did this repeatedly across multiple posts. So they were just going and hitting it over and over again on all of his posts, that's bot behavior. That's paid behavior. Early retweeters, according to report, 92% are fully anonymous. No name, no photo, no location, no contact info, and most are single-purpose Groyper accounts with bios, banners, or histories dedicated to boosting Fuentes. So all these accounts just exist to boost him. This is insane. This is insane. Fuentes' most viral posts are heavily retweeted by foreign accounts. There it is. There it is. India, Pakistan, Nigeria, Malaysia, Indonesia. Countries have zero organic link to Fuentes' U.S.-centric identity politics. Here's the chart. Before domestic versus non-domestic. This is location of Fuentes' retweeters before and after Kirk's death. You see before Charlie Kirk's death, half and half. After Charlie Kirk's death, it went down to 20 or 62% domestic versus 37% non-domestic. So it evened out a little bit. But look at this. Actually, this shows it went so it went down in India, but UK went up, Canada went up, Australia's up. Those are part of the five hands, or Five Eyes, sorry, MI6 networks. This is pretty crazy stuff, guys. This is just wild. Bulk retweets, coordinated boost networks, unauthentic accounts, synchronized amplification windows, violate X's platform manipulation, spam rules. Fuentes isn't a passive beneficiary, actively coordinates these raids. Compiled hundreds of instances where Fuentes gives real-time commandments like retweet this, everybody retweet her immediately after dropping the link in chat. So he's doing this from Discord. Anyways, this is nuts, guys. This is crazy stuff. Fuentes Groyper movement, basically a giant foreign bot spamming operation designed to manipulate the algorithm. Far exceeds legitimate reach. Fuentes received dramatically higher early retweet velocity than any comparator, including Elon Musk, than the first 30 minutes. Fuentes routinely outperformed accounts with 10 to 100 times more followers. Early engagement dominated by repeat actors. Amplification network is overwhelmingly anonymous, ideological, dedicated. Foreign origin amplification dominated the post. This is so crazy. So, I mean, wow. Listen, if this has got to be like the final, I mean, obviously he's not going away yet, but this should be the beginning of the end of the Nick Fuentes madness. This is just purely exposing that he's totally manipulating stuff. Now his hardcore people are strong enough where he's not going to lose. He's not going to just fall into nothing, but this is completely damning and exposing. And then it just everybody going in on it now, like looking back through Fuentes stuff. Here's Nick Fuentes' reply today following Elon Musk calling him a Fed. Here he says, Fuentes replied, "I've testified to Congress under oath. I never spoken to or cooperated with Fed law enforcement." Remember Milo called him a Fed back in the day? If you were dumbass Candace have any proof otherwise, you could call up your friend the president, get me charged for perjury. And Petey went back and read the transcripts. It says, Fuentes claims he testified under oath. The actual 2022 J6 deposition transcript shows him pleading the fifth to almost every question, including FBI contact. No such affirmative statement appears on the record. He just refused to answer. And then we have Fuentes. This video is going around now of Fuentes at J6. He's flat out. He's inciting them. Disregard the police. Capitol belongs to us now. I mean, how did he not get arrested after this? After all those other J6ers in jail, and he didn't get arrested? It's insane. Absolutely insane. Makes no sense. So, I mean, we've seen this video before, but it just makes more and more sense. Like, the evidence keeps coming out. Fuentes isn't organic. This is all fake. He's a creation of the feds, the deep state, who knows? I mean, it's just not real. He is exactly what he rails against. That's what we're finding out more and more. And so what did I tell you guys when this first started? When Fuentes got on Tucker's, when Fuentes got on Tucker's show, and all the uproar started, and they started using it as this attack against MAGA and Trump, and started using Fuentes for that. Doesn't it all make sense now? I mean, I told you guys then it was a PSYOP. Well, turns out, and I mean, I've done videos on Fuentes when Milo called him out for being a Fed, and now it's just like the evidence. I think like this is the final nail in the coffin, this report. coupled with Elon calling him out. I mean, Elon would know. I mean, obviously he has access to all the data. This report is just so insane. I just don't see how he can be trusted at all at this point. So, you know what, to all the groypers and everybody who's going after me for calling out Fuentes at times, screw you guys. This isn't like, it's bad. The ball's in your court now. You guys, good luck proving it's wrong. Good luck on doing this. It's so clear now. And so when you couple that with, with the Fuentes, everything he's been pushing, everything Ian Carroll's been pushing, everything, and then Candace Owens, how she's like, really all she's doing is destroying TPUSA and dividing MAGA. I mean, it's so clearly, it's all a psyop. These people are assets, and I'm going that far now. I really am. I mean, look at this. Like, Fuentes says he's American first, and he's saying this crazy stuff.
Because these illegals that come here, I understand what you're saying. They're not bad. Like, I know illegal aliens, and they're good people. Like, they work hard. They're religious, and a lot.
I thought he was like the big America first guy. I mean, this guy is just a total joke. So Fuentes at this point, I mean, I've never liked him. I've always been calling him out on my show. And now again, I think this is it. Let me get to the chat and then before I get to the next segment, but man, guys, the question is, why are they ramping it all up now? Okay. Because what's the big psyop going on right now? The big psyop is that Trump is failing. He's fallen apart. He hasn't accomplished anything. The first year was a failure. That the midterms are now going to be lost. He's not truly America first. He's controlled by Israel. He was in the Epstein files. This is all the psyop that's been really, really going crazy the last month and a half now. You know, they really ramped it up, and it makes so much sense when you start seeing now. But here's the good news. The good news is that they're going too far. They always overplay their hand. And now they're going too far. Fuentes messed with Elon. Now is getting busted for his bot spamming. Candace, she keeps going further down the rabbit hole and keeps tripping over herself, having to backtrack, change the rules. This whole Tim Pool thing is blowing up, as I'm going to show you in a second. I think it's going to be the thing that ultimately ends this whole Candace momentum she's got. But they overplayed their hand. And why now, though? Because Trump's getting some serious momentum on his side. I'm going to cover that after I do the next segment, because it's so important to call this stuff out, because we all get inundated with it. Even I, who listen to all kinds of news, cover all kinds of different stuff, it's so coordinated right now. It's so all over the place that, like, there are very few people I listen to cutting through the noise right now. Many people are getting caught up in it. And that tells me that this is a powerful push they're making right now. It's a strong push, this PSYOP. And it makes sense because people are distracted right now with the holidays. So it's easier to just inundate them with lies and get them worried about that, because they're not taking the time. We're not sitting around like doing research at this point. We don't have a little more time to maybe really listen to what they're saying. It's just like we're all distracted. We're running around. And so we might get a little quick news here and there. And that news is just going to stick a little harder, especially if we hear crazy stuff. It could discourage us, all that. They want that right now. They want it. They want us to go into the new year feeling defeated. So it's all just ramping up right now. But I also think they're just trying to get ahead of what they think is going to be a bad year for them in 2026. JC Cool says, why wasn't he raided, charged, and held without trial for years? 100%. Yeah, absolutely. Fuentes has hidden security guards. Where'd you see that? If Fuentes gets fired, I heard Cinnabon's hiring. I love it. Can you say Monroe Doctrine? Kissink says, absolutely. When's Trump going to do something about the stock market? Well, there's been some stuff on that. Building up. The SEC made an announcement the other day. It was pretty interesting. Trump's having a rally in PA tomorrow. Nice. Is he? I didn't see that. I wonder what, an actual rally? Okay, I'll have to cover that tomorrow night. Okay, let's get to the Tim Pool stuff, because again, he was shot at last Friday, and he is, at this point, he is pissed, and he's going after Candace. So I'm going to give you guys a language warning, but I think Tim is really calling it like it is right now, and so I want to play this clip.
Candace Owens is a fucking evil scumbag. She is a degenerate cunt. She is burning everything down, and she's gloating and smiling while she does it. And you know what you fucking told me? She has no security. She doesn't fucking deal with the shit we have to deal with. She's a piece of shit. She's making everyone else suffer. And all of these fucking conservatives out there that send me these fucking messages have no fucking balls to call her out. More and more people have started doing it. They send me these fucking messages. Good for you, Tim. Good for you, Tim. I wasn't the first person to do it. I'm not going to take credit for that. But don't fucking DM me like I did something for you as you cower, scared that she'll put you on her thumbnail and claim you benefited from Charlie Kirk's assassination, which he's doing to me right fucking now.
Yeah, that was the...
I'm fucking done with these people.
She has security, just not on the level of you.
Oh, yeah, the one fat guy you mentioned with no wall and no barrier in a suburban neighborhood with neighbors. She doesn't give two fucking shits. No one's out for her. She's lying about all of this. You told me you went to her house and she's got a 4-foot wall and one fat guy, and she doesn't give a shit about her security. Meanwhile, I get bullets fired at my fucking property, and I have to go live in the middle of nowhere. And I got fucking strangers coming up to my house in Maryland, breaking in. I got people showing up and beating up the residents who trying to live there. How the fuck am I even supposed to sell this property? And you know, it's all lies. It's all hypocrisy, and it is for the purpose of making money. And she does not live the way other people live. And she claims she liked Charlie, she loved Charlie, and she is burning everything down that he built because she is evil. She is evil. And I'll say it again, this conservative movement is fractured, it's fried, whatever it is. Okay? Republicans are on track to lose the midterms. They were actually trending in the other direction until Charlie Kirk was murdered.
Yeah.
And this is the point, isn't it? The most effective political assassination in history. And thanks to the likes of the vile cunt Candace Owens, she has turned Turning Point into the perpetrators of the crime that was against them.
Boom. That's it right there. Man, I love Tim for saying that. Listen, I mean, I can tell you guys, I mean, you heard it here first. I didn't say it like Tim did. I didn't use the same language. Of course, I wasn't shot at either. But I told you guys that the whole Candace thing, she's the one getting the most out of this. It looks like she's destroying TPUSA, which is Charlie's legacy. How is that honoring Charlie? I mean, she lives, she's worth, her husband's worth $200 million plus. His father is House of Lords in Britain. He's got MI6 ties. He's got a City of London ties. I mean, this is crazy, and there's no reason to think. Do you know, listen, like I said, I got this video coming out tomorrow. Did you know Candace Owens met her husband, and in 17 days later, they were engaged? And in 17 days, in this interview that I'm showing on my video tomorrow, he says in the 17 days he met her, she was powerful, but there was nothing romantic ever said. They just knew it was going to be right. How the heck in 17 days do you get engaged without any romance? That is insanity. I've heard whirlwind romances before, people getting married in a couple weeks. It happens, and sometimes it's actually successful, but it doesn't happen without romance. And then Milo's out there calling him gay. I mean, there's wild stuff in that video about her husband that I'm posting tomorrow. But listen, it just like what Tim says, absolutely right. She's out there saying, I'm scared. I'm fearing for my life. You can't speak out the way I speak out and be safe. And yet she has no security. She's living chill in her home, small fence, fat dude security guard. That's it. Tim, meanwhile, has full security. He's getting shot at. People are doxing him, going to his house. I mean, that tells you all you need to know about who's telling the truth and who's not. That's it right there. Who's dangerous? Who have they tried to shoot? Trump? Charlie Kirk? Tim Pool? These are the people you should be following. These are the people you should be trusting, the ones that actually put their lives online. Tim's talking about ending his show. I don't think he actually will. Tim... I think he's emotional right now, but he's talking about ending his show. He's like, I don't need this anymore. guys, they're win. Like when they do that, they win. Candace, by going after TPUSA, Tim said it so perfectly. Even if there's questions with TPUSA, and I'm not saying there isn't, because there is some weird stuff that happened. But listen, they still are the victims, and they're innocent until proven guilty. This Candace Owens stuff, it's one thing to say I have questions. It's another to keep making allegations the way she is. I hate it. It's disgusting, and it's clearly a psyop. It is clearly a psyop. We are watching, and why do I keep covering this stuff? Because I hate drama like this. I hate influencer drama. I want to be covering hard news. I want to be covering hard politics. But right now there's an intersection. And I have to cover this because of the intersection, because the influence of this is so big and it's affecting the movement so much. And this actually has everything to do with the hard politics right now, because this is a psyop. You know, people, when they follow politics, most people don't just wake up, read the hard news, do their research. Most people tune into somebody popular and charismatic, whether it's Candace Owens, Megyn Kelly, Steven Crowder, Tim Pool, a bunch of people on the left. That's how they get their news. And so it makes sense when the most popular one right now is clearly leading people astray. It makes sense to cover this when someone like Nick Fuentes is starting to get bigger and bigger out of nowhere. Just for some reason, all of a sudden he's more popular and causing these rifts in MAGA. Guys, we are in real time. You are witnessing an attempt to manipulate your minds in real time right now. You're witnessing an attempt to manipulate your emotions, change your minds on stuff, freak you out, put you into fear, give you hopelessness. You're witnessing it in real time. I'm calling it out in real time right now. And man, like you see the anger in Tim. That you can't fake that. He's a pretty chill dude. I've watched him for years. This doesn't happen. So, you know, I just such crazy stuff going on. And Tim, God love him for this. Calls out Ian Carroll. You guys know I can't stand Ian Carroll. He is one of the worst of the worst. And now Tim's calling him out too. This makes me so happy because again, I get to be the guy who was first. But when somebody like Tim is starting to say the stuff I was saying, oh my God, that's such a good validation.
I love, man, I gotta shout out Nick Fuentes of all people. He had such a great, it was like an 8-minute.
By the way, I shouted out Nick for calling out Candace too. That doesn't mean I trust Nick. It doesn't mean I like Nick. I think Nick's terrible. But there's, sometimes these people fight too. I think Candace is deep state, PSYOP, but I think her ties are MI6. I think Nick's fed closer to, the deep state cabal here in America. But anyways, that's where this is coming from.
Video went viral where he was talking about what's currently going on. And he was like, Ian Carroll tweeted at Charlie Kirk on September 7th, "You work for the Jews that are destroying America." 4 days later, he said he was sure that Israel killed Charlie Kirk. What happened in those 4 days, Ian? And I was like, it's a great point. What happened in those 4 days?
There was another line.
Maybe Ian got the call.
There's another line.
Maybe Ian got the call. I'm telling you, Ian Carroll is bad news. So Tim called him out too, which I just absolutely loved seeing. Rich Barrett's talking about this, like the death of TPUSA, what's going through TPUSA right now. It says TPUSA is the only organization worth a crap on the right. Nobody cares about heritage, AEI, the rest of these jokes. Clearly a hit on them now because Charlie's dead and they helped Trump win states. Grifter contest to be the next Charlie. That can never happen. I don't know if it can never happen, but it is clearly a hit. I mean, again, more and more people just clearly saying this. And then Alpha Warrior here on X put together this excellent little post on Candace Owens right now, and I think he's really onto something. Says they aren't pushing Candace Owens this hard because they care about Charlie Kirk's assassination, truth, or justice. They're pushing her because they need you to trust her now, so that when she pivots and says Trump is the villain, you'll swallow it whole. She's already kind of done that, hasn't she? She's already alluded to that Trump and the Trump administration was behind it. She did that a month ago. She's already said, I don't care about your midterms. She's already said, I'm not voting until this is all sorted out, which millions of people are listening to her and trust her on this stuff. 150,000 people are watching her live today. I mean, come on. This is a lot of people being influenced by Candace. 100,000 people not voting, that could sway a few races. That could give the Democrats the House, just that alone. So don't tell me this doesn't matter. It really, really matters. She's already turning people against the Trump administration. That's a psyop. They're not amplifying her theories to discover wrongdoing. They're amplifying her credibility becomes a delivery system for the next attack on Trump and the movement. They needed a trusted messenger. They need someone who isn't seen from the left. They need someone who parades as based, independent, fearless, and they need you emotionally invested first. That's all she is too. She's playing on emotions. Her stuff does not stand up under first of all, it doesn't stand up under logic because she flip-flops so much, but it also, and she's been wrong so many times, but it's just like, it doesn't hold up under research. Like once you actually do the work, it doesn't hold up. They weaponize tragedy, platform her grief, magnify speculation, convert suspicion to leverage. This isn't about Charlie. It's about preparing her to turn a fire on Trump, having millions already conditioned to say, well, she was the only one fighting for Charlie. Maybe she's right about Trump too. So we'll see if it gets that far. I'm hoping that because it's starting to come out with Tim Pool and others, like, once Tim's in, it's going to spread. Mark it right now. And, I'd like to think Tim watched me, learned this from me because I was about 2 weeks ahead of Tim on this. But, it's okay. I don't need credit. Tim, if you watch me, you don't have to give me credit. Just, you can say I was right. Like, you don't have to call me out in public. Just wink, maybe give a little wink. Say something like, I hit ace of spades on my poker game last night, wink a wink. And then, I'll know that you were listening to me because I was here first. I was here before anybody else on the Candace Owens stuff. I was here before most others on Nick Fuentes. And so I'm just telling you guys, like, if you watch my show, you guys get the news here first. That's all I'm telling you. I'm doing my best to call balls and strikes, and I like to do it ahead of time. I give you my guts feelings ahead of time, and 97.3% of the time I'm right. Document it 97.3% of the time on this political stuff. So listen, this is a big victory lap for me again, but it's all coming out. And I think that the Candace stuff is going to be really, hopefully, hope to God, because Tim is very well respected. He's very respected. He isn't always liked, but he's very respected. And I think by Tim turning on her 100%, we're going to start seeing some change in the Candace stuff. I think it's going to start downshifting her momentum. She'll never lose her following. It's too big. It's too passionate, just like Nick. But we could see both of them losing their real momentum now. And this could be absolutely huge. And now I'm about to get into why I think now is the time and show you guys what's going on with Trump and the wins we're starting to get and move towards. But let me catch up in the chat real quick. By the way, if you guys like what you're seeing, if you enjoy my show, you've been fans, just please hit that like. Let's get the algorithm liking it. Repost if you're on X. I'd really appreciate if you reposted. And subscribe if you're new. Subscribe or follow. I'd really, really just appreciate it. I work hard to get all this together for you guys. Let me see here. Did my show even go on X tonight? Oh, it is, but is it playing? Oh, it is. Okay, good. All right. Sorry, had to look real quick. Anyways, if you're on X, I can't see your comments, but I appreciate a repost or a like and a follow. So let's see here. Arranged marriage, says Linda. Go absolutely. I think so. Lochtefeld says batten down the hatches. Oh, I think you're right. Tell us how you really feel, Tim. Thanks, Brett. I'm right. Brett says maybe Candace's husband was a quiet talker when a place in Del Boca Vista. He is kind of a quiet talker. I'm not going to lie. Northcutt says, this makes sense. Nick would always complain of money accounts closed, can't open one anywhere. I was thinking, how can this dude survive like he is? Well, he wasn't. It's all staged. 100%. 100%. Totally agree. Thank you, Mark R. and Brett. You guys are running the chat really well. Thank you guys. Appreciate you. Brett, the best, biggest, and best mod in the business. He's doing a good job. And Mark R. always support me, man. Appreciate you. All right. Let's go on to what else has been going on just the last couple days, especially today. Things have been heating up. By the way, Carolyn Levitt dropped this today. I want you guys to hear this because this could get exciting for those of you who know.
And of course, this has happened before during the Clinton administration.
Yeah, that's right.
Detainees of Cuban and Haitian descent were both detained at Guantanamo. Are you looking at that model in setting up this detention facility?
Secretary Hegseth, I believe, was on television this morning answering this question, and he said that the Department of Defense is already on it. He has directed his agency to ensure that Gitmo is increasing their capacity for beds, and that's exactly what President Trump's executive order did. It directed Secretary Hegseth and also Secretary Noem to expand the Migrant Operations Center at the Naval Station to provide for this extra detention space. And as Secretary Hegseth confirmed this morning, that operation is underway.
And of course, this has happened before during the Clinton administration.
Expanding Gitmo. You know, this one's actually from a little bit back, but I just want to remind you guys, like, that's out there. They were actually doing it. And what happens with Gitmo? Well, that's where you send terrorists or maybe political prisoners, military prisoners for tribunals. Just so you don't forget, because this stuff's really been ramping up. The Seditious Six, Trump's Venezuela actions, the deep state's freaking out right now, and it's coming down. So we got Donald Trump exposing what's going on in Ukraine. He just told the room. Here's a clip, but I'm not gonna play it because it's late. I'm gonna run through this, but I'm just gonna go through the highlights. Half the supercars in Monaco carry Ukrainian plates. The elites cashed out, the wealthy fled, unimportant classes left to bleed. While Western taxpayers were told they were funding defense, democracy, and survival, someone else is driving Bugattis, Ferraris, Lamborghinis. Trump Jr. delivered the uncomfortable reality. The war has no incentive to end. Leaders can siphon money. What did I tell you guys? They are using Ukraine. Ukraine's always been their money laundering operation. Leaders siphoned money without audit. Oligarch families fled abroad. Luxury life continued. These at the top, zero motivation to negotiate peace. Truth's now in the open. So Donald Trump Jr. calling it out.
It wasn't like there was a plethora of earned in Ukraine. I'd been to Ukraine 20 years ago. It wasn't like there was a plethora of wealth there. And yet you see the number two there getting arrested for stealing hundreds of millions of dollars. You hear all the rumors about what's going on. When I see every license plate on a supercar in Monaco being Bugattis, the rich fled.
Anyways, crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. See, they're starting to expose stuff. And here you go, Trump. Trump's dropping bombs lately, too. Listen to this. This is one of their greatest aspects of control.
That at some point in the not too distant future, you won't even have income tax to pay because the money we're taking in is so great, it's so enormous that you're not going to have income tax to pay.
At some point in the not too distant future, getting rid of income tax. You know what that is a code word for, or a code phrase for? It's a code for he's bringing down the system. This is the system that's made them rich. Since 1913, the Fed instituted, the income tax instituted. Since then, we've been losing the middle class, falling apart. Trump just got the one big beautiful bill through. The Epstein files got passed, and they're going to show Democrats in them more than him. We're starting to, the tariffs, the Supreme Court, I believe, will uphold them. Once he gets all this in place, guys, the system starts crumbling, and all he's got to do is keep pushing forward and not let it fall, not lose the support of the people, which that is why the PSYOP is happening. Because, you know, and I want to say, I don't think the midterms, the more I think about it, I don't think they're end all be all. I think if Trump loses the midterms, and it's not Trump, obviously, but the Republicans, and we'll keep the Senate. And the Senate is almost impossible for us to lose. It is possible. We have to be the blue wave of all blue waves. And I don't think that'll happen because I think we're going to have enough election coverage to prevent fraud from them stealing the Senate. But they might get the House. And listen, if they get the House, they will impeach Trump. Now, the Senate will vindicate him, and they'll do investigations, and they'll slow him down. But here's the other thing I was thinking about. If they win the House, that's going to piss the people off to the Democrats again, because it's going to, once they're in power, they'll show us who they are again, which could build momentum for 2028. What it could also do is weed out a bunch of bad Republicans, which we need to do. And the bad Republicans will be the ones who lose, the rhinos, the ones Trump doesn't support. You know, Trump doesn't seem too worried about the midterms. I will tell you that right now. Now, one of the reasons could be because it's far off. And we have Susie Wiles out there today saying Trump's got a war chest. He's going to put it to use. He's going to work like crazy to win the midterms. And so maybe that is his plan. And maybe we're just going to win it. But I'm telling you guys, the more I think about it, it could end up being a win through a loss. Because if it purges the Republican Party and Trump's still able to get done a lot what he needs to do, and it exposes Democrats more, Trump's able to keep going after Democrats. Remember, if they're fighting him, it's going to look and pissing off the people by acting crazy and not letting him get anything done. That's going to get the people on his side more to go after them criminally, to tear them down, ruin their careers, ruin their lives, like because of their corruption. Point it out. So there are scenarios where the Democrats winning the House and the midterms are not the end of the world and actually could end up being better in the long term, almost like when Biden got 4 years in. Trump still can do everything he needs to do with the Justice Department from the corruption side. He'll still be in charge of foreign policy. None of that will stop. The only thing that'll stop is legislation. And so it's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out this year. But again, I think the economy will be booming by that time. I think Trump's going to go out. So I'm not worried about losing the midterms, but I want to paint the picture that losing the midterms is not the hopeless thing that's being the picture that's being painted out there. Losing the midterms actually could make 2028 an even bigger landslide for JD Vance and for the House to come back that year. So just stuff to think about. Maybe they're going to put all the Somalians down there and be an upgrade. Yeah, I saw they're doing QE Lochtefeld. They announced buyback $45 billion a month right now from the Fed. Yeah, something like that. Cassing says, Libs having a meltdown. Trump helped out the farmers with $12 billion, but not a peep when Obama hit the banks up with $700 billion. Oh, 100%. 100%. Listen, that $12 billion is nothing, okay? Especially, and look, what was I going to say? The $12 billion. It's a bailout to farmers, okay? Let's just call it what it is. Let's be honest here. And I know like the libertarians or the hardcore conservative Republicans will bail out, it's terrible, Trump's terrible, he's not conservative. Who gives a rat's butt what you guys think? Not you guys in the chat, but these people. Because here's the deal. The tariffs are already bringing in significantly more than that $12 billion. Significantly more, hundreds of billions. So you take a chunk of that, you give it to these farmers. This is not permanent, but it is to help the transition because the tariffs are painful up front and then beneficial long term. It's Scott Bessent and Trump said last year, there's going to be a little pain up front. This is surgery. This is taking your medicine. It sucks at first, but then it gets better. Okay, that's what's happening with the economy. So that's all this is. It's a little Band-Aid to help the farmers survive so they don't collapse. Honestly, we've already made the money for them. This is not a big deal. You give them their money and you help them in their transition to whatever else they're going to do or whatever else the economy is going to shape into with the tariffs. It's not a big deal at all. Mike says, where am I getting my information? What information are you talking about, Mike? I get my information all over the place. I mean, I pull it together and then I make my decisions based on many, many different sources. He says, we're not going to lose the midterms. I didn't say we're going to. But I said, even if we did, it's not the end of the world. That's what I said. Toe says legislation or lack could slow stop abolishment of the IRS Fed. Well, okay, think about this, Toe, because what you said is true, but it's also short-sighted. This Republican House and Senate will never abolish the Fed. They will never abolish the Fed. Okay, let's just be honest. These Republicans suck. We have a few true believers, a few good ones, and the rest suck. Okay? So let's just be honest about that. This Congress will never do that. So Trump's not going to get it. He's not going to get it done with this Congress. So abolishing the Fed's not going to happen legislatively. But if we lost the midterms, not the Senate, but the House, that could purge it. And this is what I listen, I've told you guys this for months. I've always said, I don't think Trump will be the one to get rid of the Fed. I think he is bringing the powerhouse to the corruption. He's getting the world back in peace. He's setting up the financial system to be new and thriving. And then I do believe under J.D. Vance's term, he will come in and we're going to have an even more MAGA Republican controlled House and Senate by then. Because Trump's been purging it since 2016. It's slow. It takes time. Okay, think of how many he's gotten rid of. Well, he's still got quite a few to go. But by Vance's term, those should be mostly gone. We could get full MAGA Senate. Think of it. There's 20 Republicans retiring this year, guys. 20 Republicans retiring in the House. And in the Senate, we're about to get like Ken Paxton in instead of John Cornyn. We're getting real MAGA. So it's happening. It's happening. But it's going to take a couple more cycles to get it all the way there. So the purge is going to continue. Now, if the Supreme Court strikes down the Voting Rights Act, we will easily win the midterms. But if they don't, it's going to be a dogfight. I'm just telling you what, unless we get a sweeping Voting Rights Act passed, which that's not happening unless we nuke the filibuster. So there's a lot of ifs in play right now. I can't make perfect predictions because there's not enough information to like give you guys a direction we're headed in 100%. But I can tell you that no matter how it happens, we're going to be okay. Okay, that's what I'm telling you, and you can bookmark that. A couple other things here. Trump today is getting ready to sign a EO that we do federal regulation for AI and not state by state. There was a report today in Axios that, and I don't fully trust Axios, but sometimes their stuff's good. They do have some good sources. That they are going all in on AI in the Trump administration. Trump believes it's the future. And what I want to say to that is I know a lot of people are afraid of AI. Trump is not. I think Trump knows something about AI. And there's a really, really interesting conversation with Eric Weinstein. I can't remember who else. It was about a week ago, where they were talking about if AI is what they think it is, AI is going to usher in a new economy like we've never seen before. That is not going to be any economic system we've ever seen. It's not going to be socialist. It's not going to be capitalist. It's going to be it's just going to be different. It's a very interesting conversation. I don't 100% agree with it, but I do think they are onto something. And I think ultimately AI, I work with AI. It's not scary, guys. Most of the scary stuff you see on AI is people just fooling around, running into weird stuff, but it's like most of it is just nonsense. You have to be really dumb to get swayed by AI and fall into these traps. Not the traps of the news stories. I mean, if you're actually the person in the news stories that the bad stuff's happening to or getting into stuff, you kind of just have to be looking for it. I work with AI every day, a lot of it. It's not scary. It's not that powerful yet. But it is it's not powerful in the scale people think it is, but it's an incredibly powerful tool that will reshape our economy, and are already running up against limits. So we're not going to see general intelligence. We're not going to see all this scary stuff everybody thinks is coming. I think some of it will never come. And I've told you guys my theory on that before. But I do think Trump knows something about the tool for the economic powerhouse. And also on top of that, what it means for our defense systems, our security, all that. And so Trump is making sure we're winning the AI race. And I also think he knows that if we do, or we stay on top of this, it's going to be bring an economic miracle, not the doom and gloom everybody else is saying. Again, when all else fails, when I don't have enough information, I always fall back on trust Trump, and it has not led me wrong yet. Mishler says, I'm calling it, we're winning the House. So I don't want to hear that. I hear you. Lockfeld says, since the global market's not buying our treasuries, Fed using QE will float our debt going up 1 trillion 180 days. Yeah, I know. But again, I'm not worried about the debt, Lockfeld. I've told you why. I'm not going to get caught up on the debt issue. Japan has twice our debt to GDP ratio, and they're still getting along. They're still mostly thriving. They do have issues. I'm not saying they don't. We have issues too. It has to be fixed long term, but it's only going to be fixed through growth. We can't fix our debt by paying. I hear people say we'll use the tariffs to pay off the debt. Dude, are you kidding me? Trump's only got 4 years. In the 4 years of Trump being in office, let's say we bring in $4 trillion in tariffs. I'm being generous here. And we use that to pay down the debt. The debt goes down to $34 trillion without everything else being fixed. You know what will happen? The very next administration will start using that tariff money for something else, and the debt will just go back up. You do not fix the debt by paying it off. You fix the debt by creating a monster economy, tightening our belt as far as the fraud and everything. Listen, there's so much fraud and abuse out there right now. I have a feeling if we solve all that, look what's going on with the Somalians. Now, times that by 100. It's just going to keep coming out more and more and more. So we fix all that, guys. I think we might not even have a debt problem. We have a corruption problem. Watch and see. I think that might be how it goes. Trump certainly doesn't seem too worried about our debt, but get that taken care of. We grow like crazy. We invest in this economy, make it boom like never before. And then our debt takes care of itself, just like it did after World War II. World War II, we ran the highest GDP to debt ratio in history. And we got out of it real fast during the booming 50s. So just telling you guys, the debt is not the concern we think it is. And so we invest in our country. We can knock this out. We can take care of this. I really believe that. Also, Scott Bessent said something last year, which was very interesting to me. He said that our assets are in excess of the debt. So if you're a finance guy, say you're Elon, you don't pay for anything with your money. You don't sell stock every time you want to buy stuff. You borrow because you always got the collateral to pay it off. And so that's how it works. And if you have the assets, if you have more assets than debt, your bottom line is still in the black. And so what Scott Bessent was basically saying is that's not an issue to us. You guys aren't thinking in correct terms here. And people who, a billionaire, somebody's got say they got $10 billion of assets and they have $8 billion of debt. They're not losing a wink of sleep over that because there's still $2 billion in the black. That's how it works. And that's how I think our system is. And nobody ever talks about it. Casting says, interesting documentary called Finding the Money, How the Government Controls Money, Debt, Taxes, Much More. I'd like to look into that. I really would. The one thing we got to get control over, though, is our monetary system, because the system itself is making the debt so much worse as well, because it's what's leading to inflation, and it's what's decoupling our dollars from assets, which only makes people in finance wealthy and everybody else poor. So that's what we got to get away from as well. Okay, let's keep moving on. A couple other things here. Trump admin has rescued 62,000 migrant kids from sex trafficking and child labor. So that's just insane. And again, we got to get these stories out there so people know how much is actually happening. Gas prices nationwide down to $2.95. So this is just going to keep dropping, and at the lowest level in 4 years. So by the midterms, gas is much cheaper. You have, the economy's turning around. Hopefully we've gone through a stock market correction by then and on our way back up. With that, there might be some deflation. If you get energy prices down and asset prices down, the deflation will start showing up. People's lives will start getting cheaper. And if we get all this manufacturing investment, that means wages will keep going up. So guys, all the pieces are in place for a really good economic year. And we're starting to see some of the signs of it. And then another huge win. I just saw this today. I thought it was awesome. Nearly half of LGBTQ plus TV characters will disappear next season, according to a report. So we're winning, guys. We're winning. This is just great stuff. This is the kind of stuff that matters. So listen, this is why Brett says this is why California next year gas should be $8 at this point. Right? California is so insane. No, Newsom will probably get another tax pass, so you don't feel any of those energy cuts. Listen, all that I shared at the end there, the momentum, the stuff Trump's pushing towards, the Supreme Court today, argument went really well. It looked like they're going to overturn independent agencies being free from being fired. They're going to overturn 90 years of precedent. The justices were tearing into these people, saying like, there's nothing in the Constitution that says there's a fourth branch of government. They were just going after them. So they'll tear that down. That'll allow Trump to fire all these independent agencies. I mean, that's disassembling the deep state right there. So the winning is happening. It's, it's obviously not as fast as we want, but we cannot take our eyes off the ball. It is happening. Some days we move forward 5 steps, other days we move forward a half step, but every day we're moving forward. I haven't really seen us go backward. That's incredible. That tells you how powerful Trump is, and it tells you why the psyops are going crazy while they're unleashing all their assets. So maybe watching very carefully to see what keeps going on with Fuentes and Candace as this stuff keeps coming out. Meanwhile, also seeing what Trump's pulling off. But guys, they're going all out because they're scared. The movement that started with Trump, that Charlie Kirk championed, that he pushed forward, it's the most powerful movement in American history since the Revolutionary War. In the Revolutionary War changed the entire world. This movement right now is changing the entire world. It is destroying their system, one that they've had us under their thumb for over 100 years. We're breaking it. We're winning. But you better believe that they're not going to go down without kicking and screaming and without trying every trick in the book. At this point, I do believe many of our influencers are bad, and we have to keep an eye on that. We have to trust our gut when we hear something crazy, weird, and follow it to its conclusion. See if these people can be consistent, if they can bring receipts. If they can't, more than likely, they're trouble. They're trouble. Oh yeah, we had Biden's emails on the immigrations too. Like, I mean, how he was warned not to keep there's a lot going on. I can't cover it all. But no, I didn't talk about Mike. Maybe I'll bring that up tomorrow. So I was running through pretty quick tonight because it's late and we gotta get going. But I'll be back on again tomorrow, and I'll try to remember to talk about that Biden thing because that is a huge story. It's a huge story, basically exposing the Biden administration for that they knew exactly what they were doing at the border, which we all know that. We all know that. But for the New York Times to be sharing this is crazy. So more awakening will be happening because of stories like that. On that note, guys, love you guys. God bless you. Let's just say a quick prayer, and then I got to get to bed. So Heavenly Father, thank you for today. Bless this group, Lord. Bless everybody fighting for the right stuff in America, Lord. Justice, prosperity, peace, for long term. Thank you for that, Lord. Bless President Trump and his team. Protect them, Lord. Give them wisdom. Father, give us discernment, no matter who's giving us information. Help us see through lies. Help us see through manipulation in Jesus' name, and deception in Jesus' name. And Father, just thank you for this group, these people who watch me, and just bless them all. Bless them all. Help us all get through this time and to better times ahead for our children and grandchildren. Help us be the ones who fight so they can have a better life. In Jesus' name, amen. All right. Love you guys. Have a blessed evening. I will talk to you all tomorrow.